Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here today to explore the intricate realms of the human psyche, let us delve into the profound depths that lie beneath the surface of our conscious awareness. The title of our discourse, You Don't Crave the High, You Crave the Silence from Screaming Memories, beckons us to traverse the landscape of our inner world, where the echoes of the past reverberate like haunting melodies, shaping our present and influencing our future. At the heart of our exploration lies the concept of craving, a term often misunderstood as a mere desire for external gratification. Yet, beneath this superficial understanding, we uncover a more complex tapestry woven from the threads of our unconscious mind. In the realm of analytical psychology, we recognize that many of our conscious desires are but manifestations of deeper, often hidden psychological needs. These needs are frequently rooted in our unresolved past, in the memories that scream within us like ancient specters demanding to be heard. Imagine, if you will, the human psyche as a vast ocean, where the conscious mind is but a small island amidst the boundless waters of the unconscious. Beneath the surface lie the archetypes universal, primordial images that form the substratum of our collective unconscious. These archetypes are the ancient symbols and motifs that have been part of human experience since time immemorial. They are the heroes, the shadows, the wise old man, and the eternal child that live within each of us, influencing our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in ways we often do not comprehend. When we speak of craving the silence from screaming memories, we are, in essence, addressing the archetype of the shadow. The shadow represents those aspects of our personality that we have repressed, denied, or disowned. These are the parts of ourselves that society deems unacceptable, the emotions we fear, and the desires we are ashamed to acknowledge. Yet, paradoxically, it is in acknowledging and integrating our shadow that we find the path to wholeness. Consider the process of individuation, the journey towards self-realization and integration of the self. This process requires us to confront our shadow, to engage in the delicate dance of embracing our darker aspects without becoming consumed by them. It is through this confrontation that we begin to transform our screaming memories into silent companions, no longer adversaries but allies, on our path to self-awareness. In the realm of dreams, we often encounter the shadow in its myriad forms, perhaps as a terrifying figure, a menacing presence, or a situation fraught with fear. Yet, these dream images are not to be feared, but understood. They are the psyche's way of communicating the need for integration, urging us to bring the unconscious into the light of consciousness. It is through the language of symbols that the unconscious speaks, and it is our task to listen and interpret these messages with an open heart and mind. Let us turn our attention now to the concept of silence, a state that is much coveted, yet so elusive in our modern world of incessant noise and distraction. Silence, in the psychological sense, is not merely the absence of sound, but the presence of inner peace and tranquility. It is the calm that descends upon us when we have made peace with our past when the screaming memories have been heard, acknowledged, and integrated into the fabric of our being. To crave the silence is to seek the cessation of inner conflict, the resolution of the tension between opposing forces within us. It is to seek the equilibrium that comes from aligning our conscious desires with our unconscious needs. In this state of harmony, we find the freedom to live authentically, to express our true self without fear or shame. As we journey further into the depths of our psyche, we encounter the concept of the self, the archetype of wholeness and completion. The self is the totality of our being, encompassing both the conscious and the unconscious aspects of our personality. It is the guiding force that leads us towards individuation, urging us to integrate all parts of ourself, both light and shadow, into a cohesive whole. The path to the self is fraught with challenges, as it requires us to confront the screaming memories that we have long sought to silence. Yet, it is through this confrontation that we find liberation, for it is only by facing our fears that we can transcend them. In the quietude that follows, we discover the truth of who we are, free from the distortions of the past and the projections of the ego. In closing, let us reflect on the wisdom of the collective unconscious, the reservoir of ancestral knowledge and experience that resides within each of us. It is through our connection to this vast wellspring that we find the strength to confront our shadows, the courage to face our fears, and the wisdom to navigate the complexities of our inner world. As we embrace the silence from screaming memories, we step into the fullness of our being, awakened to the infinite possibilities that lie within. Thank you for joining me on this journey of exploration and discovery. May you find peace in the silence and joy in the journey towards self-realization. As we continue our exploration of the depths of the psyche, let us delve further into the interplay between memory and identity. For it is within this intricate dance that the true essence of our being is revealed. Memories, those echoes of the past, serve as the scaffolding upon which we construct our sense of self, yet they are not mere historical records. They are dynamic, living entities that shape and are shaped by our present consciousness. In the realm of analytical psychology, we consider the profound impact of repressed memories on the psyche. These buried remnants of past experiences, often too painful or shameful to confront, lie dormant in the unconscious, influencing our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in subtle yet powerful ways. They manifest in our dreams, in our compulsions, and in the patterns that repeat throughout our lives, urging us to pay heed to their silent cries for recognition. It is here that the concept of the personal unconscious comes into play. This reservoir of forgotten and repressed memories is distinct from the collective unconscious, yet deeply interconnected with it. The personal unconscious holds the key to understanding the unique narrative of our individual lives, the specific experiences that have shaped us, and the personal myths we have woven to make sense of our existence. To unlock the mysteries of the personal unconscious, we must engage in the process of active imagination, a method pioneered by Jung to facilitate dialogue between the conscious and unconscious mind through active imagination. We enter into a creative collaboration with the unconscious, allowing images, symbols, and narratives to emerge spontaneously, unfiltered by the constraints of rational thought. In this sacred space, we can encounter the memories that scream for attention, not with judgment or fear, but with compassion and curiosity. As we engage in this dialogue, we may find ourselves drawn to the archetype of the wounded healer, a powerful symbol of transformation and redemption. This archetype, embodied by figures such as Chiron in Greek mythology, represents the paradoxical relationship between suffering and healing. It is through acknowledging our wounds, through embracing the pain of our past, that we are granted the capacity to heal ourselves and others. The wounded healer reminds us that our vulnerabilities are not weaknesses to be hidden, but sources of profound strength and wisdom in our quest for silence from screaming memories. We must also consider the role of the ego, that center of conscious identity that often stands as a barrier to the integration of the unconscious. The ego, in its quest for stability and control, resists the chaos and uncertainty inherent in the confrontation with repressed memories. Yet, it is precisely through the surrender of egoic defenses that we find the path to true healing and wholeness. This surrender requires the cultivation of what Jung termed shadow work, the courageous endeavor to bring the unconscious into the light of awareness. Shadow work is not a one-time event, but a lifelong journey of self-discovery and integration. It involves the willingness to confront the aspects of ourselves that we have disowned, to sit with the discomfort of our unhealed wounds, and to embrace the totality of our being with love and acceptance. In this process, we are guided by the archetype of the wise old man or woman, a symbol of inner guidance and insight. This archetype represents the voice of the deeper self, the source of wisdom that transcends the limitations of the rational mind. It is through attuning to this inner wisdom that we find the courage to face the darkness within, to transform our screaming memories into silent allies on our journey towards individuation. As we weave together the threads of our past, present, and future, we begin to understand that the silence we crave is not an escape from our memories, but a reconciliation with them. It is the peace that arises when we have integrated the disparate parts of our psyche into a harmonious whole, when we have made peace with the shadows that once haunted us. In this state of inner silence, we become attuned to the subtle rhythms of the collective unconscious, the vast ocean of shared human experience that connects us all. We begin to see ourselves not as isolated beings, but as integral parts of a greater whole, bound by the universal themes and patterns that have shaped humanity since time immemorial. Let us remember that the journey towards silence is not a solitary endeavor, but a shared pilgrimage. As we embark on this path, we do so in the company of countless others who have walked before us and will walk after us. It is through this shared journey that we find the solace and support we need to confront the screaming memories within, to transform them into sources of wisdom and strength, and to step into the fullness of our being. In closing, let us embrace the silence, not as an absence, but as a presence that holds the potential for healing, transformation, and profound self-discovery. May we find in this silence the courage to face our fears, the wisdom to understand our past, and the freedom to live authentically in the present. Thank you for walking this path with me, and may your journey be one of peace and enlightenment as we delve deeper into the recesses of our psyche. Let us confront the intricate dance between light and shadow, a perpetual interplay that defines the human experience. This dance is not merely an abstract concept, but a profound reality that influences the very fabric of our existence. It is within this delicate balance that we encounter the archetypes that shape our perceptions, guide our actions, and color the tapestry of our lives. Among these archetypes, the shadow looms large, embodying the aspects of our personality that we have relegated to the depths of the unconscious. The shadow is not inherently malevolent, rather, it is a repository of potential, a crucible in which our hidden desires, fears, and unacknowledged strength reside. To engage with the shadow is to embark on a journey of self-discovery, a journey that requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to confront the uncomfortable truths that lie beneath the surface. The process of shadow integration is akin to the alchemical transformation of lead into gold, a metaphor for the transmutation of base instincts into higher consciousness. It is a process that demands patience and perseverance, for the shadow does not reveal its secrets easily. It guards its treasures jealously, challenging us to prove our readiness to embrace its gifts. In this regard, the role of dreams becomes paramount. Dreams are the language of the unconscious, the medium through which the shadow communicates its desires and fears. They present us with symbols and narratives that, while often perplexing, hold the keys to understanding our inner world. To interpret these dreams is to engage in a dialogue with the soul, to listen to the whispers of the unconscious as it seeks to guide us towards wholeness. As we navigate the landscape of dreams, we encounter the hero's journey, an archetypal motif that resonates deeply within the collective unconscious. The hero's journey is a universal narrative of transformation, a quest that involves leaving the familiar, facing trials and tribulations, and ultimately returning home transformed. It is a journey that mirrors our own path towards individuation, the process of becoming who we are meant to be. The hero's journey is not a solitary endeavor. It is a path marked by encounters with allies and adversaries, mentors and tricksters. Each figure we meet on this journey is a reflection of our inner world, a projection of the archetypal forces at play within us. The mentor, for instance, embodies the wisdom of the inner guide, the voice of intuition that leads us towards insight and understanding. The trickster, on the other hand, challenges our assumptions and forces us to question our perceptions, often leading us to unexpected revelations. in our quest for silence from screaming memories, we must be willing to embrace the paradoxes inherent in the human experience. We must recognize that light cannot exist without shadow, that joy is often born from sorrow, and that the journey towards self-realization is fraught with both triumph and despair. It is through the acceptance of these dualities that we find the path to harmony and balance as we continue to explore the intricacies of the psyche. Let us not forget the role of the anima and animus, the contrasexual archetypes that reside within each of us. These archetypes represent the union of opposites, the integration of masculine and feminine energies that leads to a more complete and holistic self. The anima and animus are bridges between the conscious and unconscious, inviting us to embrace the full spectrum of our identity and to transcend the limitations of gendered stereotypes. The integration of the anima and animus is a crucial step in the individuation process, for it allows us to access the creative potential that lies dormant within us. It is through this integration that we find the capacity for empathy, understanding, and connection with others, for we recognize that the boundaries between self and other are fluid and permeable. In this journey towards silence and integration, we are guided by the archetype of the self, the center of our being and the source of our inner wisdom. The self is the unifying force that brings coherence to the disparate elements of our psyche, leading us towards a state of harmony and balance. It is through the realization of the self that we find the peace and silence we seek. The silence that arises from the resolution of inner conflict and the embrace of our true nature. As we conclude this exploration of the psyche, let us reflect on the transformative power of self-awareness. It is through the courageous exploration of our inner world that we find the keys to our liberation, the tools to transform our screaming memories into sources of insight and strength. In the silence that follows, we are granted the opportunity to live authentically, to engage with the world from a place of wholeness and integrity. May this journey towards self-awareness be one of discovery and enlightenment, a path that leads us to the heart of our being and the realization of our fullest potential. Thank you for embarking on this exploration with me. And may the silence you find be a source of profound peace and joy. As we press onward into the labyrinthine corridors of the psyche, we encounter the notion of transformation, an essential theme in our quest for the silence that comes from reconciling with our screaming memories. Transformation, in the Jungian sense, is not merely a change in form or appearance, but a profound metamorphosis of the soul that encompasses every facet of our being. This metamorphosis is often catalyzed by the confrontation with what Jung referred to as the numinous experiences that evoke a sense of the sacred, the mysterious, and the awe-inspiring. These encounters with the numinous have the power to shake the very foundations of our existence, challenging our preconceived notions and opening the door to new possibilities. They serve as reminders of the vastness of the unconscious, the boundless potential that lies within us waiting to be realized. In our search for transformation, we are invariably drawn to the archetype of the rebirth, a powerful symbol of renewal and regeneration. Rebirth is not a singular event. but a cyclical process that echoes the rhythms of nature, the death of the old making way for the birth of the new. It is through the cycle of death and rebirth that we shed the layers of egoic identity, allowing the true self to emerge from the depths of the unconscious. This process is often accompanied by the experience of the dark night of the soul, a period of profound existential crisis that precedes the dawn of new understanding. During this time, we may feel lost, disconnected, and engulfed by the shadows of our psyche, yet it is precisely within this darkness that the seeds of transformation are sown, for it is through the descent into the depths that we prepare for the ascent into the light. The dark night of the soul is not to be feared, but embraced as an integral part of the individuation journey. It is a time of introspection and inner work, an opportunity to confront the aspects of ourselves that we have long avoided. Through this confrontation, we gain clarity and insight, discovering the hidden treasures that lie within the shadows. As we emerge from this period of transformation, we are greeted by the archetype of the phoenix, the mythological bird that rises from its ashes, symbolizing the triumph of life over death, hope over despair. The phoenix represents the resilience of the human spirit, the capacity for renewal and regeneration that resides within each of us. It is a testament to the power of transformation, reminding us that from the ashes of our old selves, new life and new possibilities arise. In the aftermath of transformation, we find ourselves standing at the threshold of a new beginning, imbued with a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. This newfound awareness brings with it a sense of peace and silence, a quietude that arises from the integration of our screaming memories into the fabric of our being. We are no longer haunted by the echoes of the past, for we have embraced them as integral parts of our journey towards wholeness. In this state of silence, we are able to listen more deeply to the voice of the soul, to attune ourselves to the subtle whispers of the unconscious that guide us towards our true purpose. The cacophony of the ego's demands is replaced by the harmonious symphony of the self, a melody that resonates with the wisdom of the ages. As we continue to listen to this inner music, we become more attuned to the rhythms of the collective unconscious, the shared repository of human experience that connects us all. We recognize that our individual journey is but a reflection of the greater human story, a tapestry woven from the threads of countless lives and countless transformations. In this recognition, we find a sense of belonging and connection, a realization that we are not isolated beings, but integral parts of a larger whole. It is through this interconnectedness that we find the strength and support to continue our journey, to face the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead with courage and grace. As we conclude this exploration of transformation and silence, let us carry forward the insights we have gained, allowing them to illuminate our path and guide us towards greater self-awareness and fulfillment. May we continue to embrace the cycles of death and rebirth, trusting in the wisdom of the unconscious to lead us towards ever greater heights of understanding and enlightenment. Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery and transformation. May the silence you find be a source of profound peace and joy. a testament to the resilience and beauty of the human spirit. As we delve even further into the vast and mysterious realms of the psyche, let us ponder the role of synchronicity in our journey towards silence and self-realization. Synchronicity, a concept introduced by Jung, refers to the meaningful coincidences that occur in our lives. Events that are not causally related yet seem profoundly intertwined in a way that defies rational explanation. These moments of synchronicity serve as windows into the interconnectedness of all things, reminding us that the boundary between the inner and outer worlds is not as rigid as we might believe. They invite us to consider the possibility that the universe is imbued with a deeper, more mysterious order, one that is intimately linked with the workings of the unconscious mind. Imagine, if you will, an individual on the brink of a significant personal transformation, standing at a crossroads in life. Suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, they encounter a series of events or symbols that resonate deeply with their current inner state. These synchronistic events act as guideposts, offering insight and direction, urging the individual to pay attention to the whispers of the soul. In the context of our exploration, synchronicity serves as a bridge connecting the conscious and unconscious realms, a reminder that the journey towards silence and integration is supported by forces beyond our immediate comprehension. These moments of alignment between the inner and outer worlds encourage us to trust in the unfolding of our path, to embrace the mystery of life with open hearts and open minds. The experience of synchronicity can be likened to the archetype of the guide or mentor, figures that appear at pivotal moments to offer wisdom and direction. These guides may take many forms: a chance encounter with a stranger, a passage in a book, or a symbol in a dream, each offering a piece of the puzzle that leads us towards greater understanding. They are reminders that we are never truly alone on our journey, that the universe conspires to support us in our quest for self-realization. As we deepen our engagement with the unconscious, we inevitably encounter the tension of opposites, the dynamic interplay between conflicting forces within us. This tension is not to be resolved, but rather held in a state of creative balance, for it is through the synthesis of opposites that new possibilities emerge. The alchemical symbol of the Ouroboros, the serpent devouring its own tail, represents this process of continuous renewal and transformation, a cycle that perpetuates the evolution of consciousness in the pursuit of silence. We must embrace this tension, recognizing that it is a source of vitality and growth. It is through the friction between opposing forces that we are propelled forward, driven to explore the unknown territories of the psyche and to integrate the disparate elements of our being. The journey towards silence and integration is thus a dance of reconciliation, a movement towards unity and wholeness. It is a process that requires us to embrace the totality of our experience, to acknowledge the light and the shadow, the joy and the sorrow as essential components of our humanity. In doing so, we cultivate a sense of inner harmony, the silence that arises not from the absence of conflict, but from the acceptance of its presence as a catalyst for transformation. As we traverse this path, we are called to cultivate a deeper relationship with the self, to listen attentively to the voice of the inner guide, and to trust in the wisdom of the unconscious. The journey is not without its challenges, yet it is one that offers profound rewards, a richer, more authentic experience of life, a deeper connection to the world around us, and a sense of peace that transcends the noise of the external world. In closing, let us carry forward the insights we have gained on this exploration, allowing them to illuminate our path and guide us towards greater self-awareness and fulfillment. May we continue to embrace the cycles of transformation, trusting in the synchronicities that guide us, and finding in the silence a source of profound peace and joy. Thank you for embarking on this journey with me, and may the silence you find be a testament to the resilience and beauty of the human spirit. As we continue this journey into the profound depths of the psyche, we arrive at the concept of the collective unconscious, a cornerstone of Jungian thought. This vast, shared reservoir of experience and knowledge transcends individual memory and personal history, encompassing the universal archetypes and symbols that have emerged from the human experience across time and culture. The collective unconscious is akin to an ancient river flowing beneath the surface of our individual consciousness, carrying with it the wisdom of the ages. It is here that we find the archetypes, the primordial images that form the bedrock of our psychic life. These archetypes are not fixed or static. Rather, they are dynamic forces that influence our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in ways that are both subtle and profound. Consider the archetype of the hero, a symbol of the potential for growth and transformation that lies within us all. The hero's journey, as articulated by Jung and later by Joseph Campbell, is a universal motif that speaks to the trials and triumphs of the human spirit. It is a narrative of departure, initiation, and return, a quest that mirrors our own path towards individuation. The hero's journey is not merely an external adventure, but an inner voyage of discovery and self-realization. It calls us to confront the dragons of our own making, the fears and limitations that reside within. Through this confrontation, we are challenged to expand beyond the confines of our ego, to embrace the fullness of our potential, and to integrate the disparate elements of our psyche into a cohesive whole. In this journey, we are often aided by the presence of the anima or animus, the contrasexual archetypes that reside within each of us. These figures act as mediators between the conscious and unconscious realms, inviting us to explore the depths of our inner world and to reconcile the dualities that exist within us. The anima and animus are not mere projections of our desires, but essential components of our wholeness, guiding us towards a more integrated and balanced self. As we engage with these archetypal forces, we are called to develop what Jung termed psychological maturity, a state of being that transcends the limitations of the ego and embraces the complexity and richness of the human experience. Psychological maturity involves the capacity to hold opposites in tension, to live with ambiguity and uncertainty, and to find meaning and purpose amidst the chaos of life. This maturity is not a fixed destination, but a dynamic process of growth and transformation. It requires us to cultivate a deep sense of self-awareness, to listen attentively to the messages of the unconscious, and to engage in the ongoing work of shadow integration. It is through this process that we find the silence we seek, a silence that is not the absence of sound, but the presence of inner peace and harmony. As we navigate the complexities of the collective unconscious, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of all things, the seamless web of life that binds us to one another and to the world around us. This interconnectedness is reflected in the archetype of the Great Mother, a symbol of the nurturing and sustaining forces of nature that support and sustain life. The Great Mother embodies the cycles of birth, death, and rebirth, reminding us of the impermanence and continuity of existence in our quest for silence and integration. We are called to honor this connection, to recognize that our individual journey is but a reflection of the greater human story. It is through this recognition that we find a sense of belonging and purpose, a realization that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. In closing, let us embrace the silence as a space of reflection and transformation, a sanctuary where we can encounter the depths of our being and the vastness of the collective unconscious. May this silence be a source of inspiration and insight, guiding us towards greater understanding and fulfillment. Thank you for joining me on this exploration, and may the silence you find be a testament to the enduring power and beauty of the human soul as we continue to traverse the enigmatic terrain of the unconscious. Let us delve into the profound interplay of myth and psyche, where the stories of old become mirrors reflecting the inner workings of the human soul. Myths, those timeless narratives that have traversed generations, are not mere tales of fantasy, but living expressions of the collective unconscious. They are the vessels through which the wisdom of the ages is conveyed, speaking to the universal themes and archetypes that reside within us all. In the Jungian framework, myths serve as a rich tapestry of symbolic imagery through which the psyche communicates its deepest truths. They are the language of the soul, articulating the complexities of human experience in ways that transcend the limitations of rational discourse. These stories, populated by gods and heroes, monsters and maidens, are the external manifestations of the internal psychic drama that unfolds within the depths of our unconscious. Consider the myth of the labyrinth, a powerful symbol of the journey into the unknown, the descent into the depths of the psyche where the shadow dwells. The labyrinth is not simply a maze to be navigated, but a spiritual journey of introspection and transformation. It represents the trials and tribulations we must face as we seek to uncover the hidden truths of our being, to confront the Minotaur within and emerge renewed. The labyrinthine journey is paralleled in the process of individuation, where we are called to leave the comfort of the familiar and venture into the uncharted territories of the soul. It is a journey fraught with uncertainty and peril, yet it is through this confrontation with the unknown that we come to know ourselves more deeply. The labyrinth teaches us that the path to self-realization is not a straight line, but a winding road, one that requires patience, perseverance, and courage. In this journey, we encounter the archetype of the wise old man or woman, figures of wisdom and guidance who illuminate the path before us. These mentors, whether encountered in myth or in our own lives, serve as beacons of insight, offering counsel and support as we navigate the complexities of the unconscious. They remind us that we are not alone on this path, that the wisdom of the ages is available to us if we are willing to listen. As we engage with the myths of our ancestors, we begin to see the parallels between their stories and our own lives. The heroes and heroines of myth are not distant figures of legend, but reflections of the archetypal energies that reside within us. Their journeys echo our own, their trials and triumphs mirroring the challenges and victories we encounter on our path towards wholeness. In the realm of myth, we also encounter the archetype of the trickster, a figure of disruption and transformation, who challenges the status quo and invites us to question our assumptions. The trickster is a catalyst for change, shaking us out of our complacency and forcing us to confront the limitations of our beliefs. In doing so, the trickster opens the door to new possibilities, encouraging us to embrace the chaos of the unknown as a source of creativity and growth. The presence of the trickster reminds us that the journey towards silence and integration is not a linear progression, but a dynamic interplay of order and chaos, stability and change. It is through the dance of these opposing forces that we find the path to transformation, the opportunity to transcend the limitations of our ego and embrace the fullness of our being. As we bring this exploration to a close, let us reflect on the profound wisdom contained within the myths and symbols of the collective unconscious. These ancient narratives offer us a mirror through which we can glimpse the depths of our own souls, a guide to navigating the complexities of the inner world as we seek the silence that comes from reconciling with our past. May we draw upon the rich tapestry of myth to illuminate our path and inspire our journey. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of myth and psyche, and may the silence you find be a source of profound insight and peace, a testament to the enduring power of the stories that shape our lives and the depths of the human spirit. As we further venture into the depths of the psyche, let us turn our attention to the intricate relationship between time and the unconscious. In the realm of the psyche, time does not adhere to the linear progression we experience in our waking lives. Instead, it exists as a fluid and malleable entity where past, present, and future intermingle in the tapestry of meaning and insight. The unconscious mind, in its vast expanse, holds the memories of our personal experiences alongside the archetypal narratives of the collective unconscious. These memories are not static relics of the past, but dynamic forces that continue to influence our present and shape our future. They are the echoes of ancient stories and personal histories that reverberate within us, calling us to listen and learn. In our journey towards silence and self-realization, we must engage with these temporal layers of the psyche, recognizing that the past lives within us, informing our perceptions and guiding our actions. This engagement invites us to consider the healing potential of revisiting and reinterpreting our memories to transform the screaming echoes of our past into harmonious notes that resonate with our present understanding. The process of engaging with the past requires a willingness to confront the unresolved conflicts and unhealed wounds that lie beneath the surface of our consciousness. It calls for the integration of shadow elements, the aspects of ourselves we have disowned or repressed, into the wholeness of our being. Through this integration, we find the path to healing and transformation, allowing the past to be reconciled with the present in a dance of renewal. As we navigate the temporal landscape of the psyche, we encounter the archetype of the eternal child, a symbol of innocence, potential, and renewal. The eternal child represents the timeless essence of the soul, the part of us that remains untouched by the passage of time, ever open to wonder and possibility. This archetype invites us to reconnect with our innate curiosity and creativity, to approach life with the openness and joy of a child. The presence of the eternal child within us serves as a reminder that despite the weight of our experiences and the passage of time, we possess the capacity for renewal and rebirth. It encourages us to embrace the cycles of life and transformation, to find joy in the journey of self-discovery and growth, in our quest for silence and integration. We are also called to explore the future, to envision the possibilities that lie ahead, and to align our actions with our deepest values and aspirations. This exploration of the future is not about prediction or certainty, but about intention and potential. It is about creating a vision for our lives that is rooted in the wisdom of the unconscious and the insights gained from our past experiences. The archetype of the visionary is particularly relevant here, embodying the capacity to see beyond the immediate circumstances and to envision a future that is aligned with our true purpose. The visionary invites us to dream boldly, to imagine new possibilities, and to take inspired action towards the realization of our highest potential. As we weave together the threads of past, present, and future, we cultivate a deeper sense of presence and awareness, a state of being that transcends the limitations of linear time. In this state, we find the silence we seek, a silence that is rich with meaning and insight, a testament to the interconnectedness of all aspects of our being. In closing, let us embrace the timeless wisdom of the unconscious, allowing it to guide us towards greater self-awareness and fulfillment. May we find in the silence a source of peace and inspiration, a reminder of the resilience and beauty of the human spirit. Thank you for embarking on this exploration with me, and may the silence you find be a testament to the enduring power of the psyche and the journey of transformation. As we continue to explore the unfathomable depths of the psyche, let us turn our gaze to the concept of integration, a fundamental aspect of the individuation process. Integration, in the Jungian sense, involves the synthesis of the various components of the psyche, bringing into harmony the conscious and unconscious, the light and the shadow, the anima and animus. It is through this process that we move towards wholeness, embracing the totality of our being with compassion and understanding. The path to integration is not a linear journey, but a spiral that requires us to revisit and rework the themes and patterns of our lives. It is a journey that calls for courage and patience as we confront the aspects of ourselves that we have disowned or rejected. These are the parts of our psyche that reside in the shadow, waiting to be acknowledged and embraced as integral components of our identity. In this journey, we are guided by the archetype of the self, the central organizing principle of the psyche that seeks to bring unity and coherence to our inner world. The self is the source of our deepest wisdom and insight, the guiding light that leads us towards self-realization and fulfillment. It is through our connection to the self that we find the strength and resilience to navigate the complexities of the unconscious and to transform our screaming memories into sources of insight and growth. The process of integration requires us to engage in a dialogue with the unconscious, to listen attentively to the messages that arise from the depths of our being. This dialogue is facilitated through various methods such as dream analysis, active imagination, and creative expression, each offering a unique pathway to exploring the inner world. Through these practices, we gain access to the rich symbolic language of the unconscious, uncovering the hidden meanings and insights that lie beneath the surface of our awareness. As we engage with the symbols and narratives of the unconscious, we encounter the archetype of the healer, a symbol of transformation and renewal. The healer embodies the capacity to mend the wounds of the past and to restore balance and harmony to the psyche. This archetype invites us to embrace the healing potential within ourselves, to recognize that we possess the power to transform our pain into wisdom and our suffering into strength. In the journey towards integration, we are also called to cultivate a deeper sense of empathy and compassion, both for ourselves and for others. This involves recognizing the shared humanity that connects us all, the universal struggles and triumphs that define the human experience. It is through this recognition that we find the capacity to extend compassion to the parts of ourselves that we have disowned, to embrace our imperfections and vulnerabilities as essential components of our wholeness. As we cultivate this sense of empathy, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of all things, the web of life that binds us to one another and to the world around us. This interconnectedness is reflected in the archetype of the weaver, a symbol of the creative and generative forces that bring order and harmony to the cosmos. The weaver invites us to participate in the ongoing process of creation, to contribute our unique gifts and insights to the tapestry of life. In this process of creation and integration, we are guided by the principles of balance and harmony, seeking to align our actions with our values and aspirations. This alignment is not a fixed state, but a dynamic process of adjustment and attunement as we respond to the ever-changing circumstances of our lives. It is through this process that we find the silence we seek, a silence that arises from the integration of all aspects of our being into a cohesive and harmonious whole. As we draw this exploration to a close, let us reflect on the transformative power of integration, the capacity to bring together the disparate elements of our psyche into a unified and coherent self. May we continue to embrace the journey of self-discovery and growth, trusting in the wisdom of the unconscious to guide us towards greater understanding and fulfillment. Thank you for joining me on this exploration, and may the silence you find be a source of profound peace and joy, a testament to the resilience and beauty of the human spirit. As we delve even further into the intricate realms of the psyche, let us contemplate the profound role of creativity in the journey toward integration and silence. Creativity, in the Jungian perspective, is not merely an artistic endeavor, but a fundamental expression of the soul's longing for wholeness. It is a vital force that channels the energies of the unconscious into tangible forms, allowing us to engage with the symbolic language of the psyche. Within each of us resides the archetype of the creator, a powerful symbol of the generative and transformative capacities of the human spirit. The creator embodies the potential to bring forth new realities, to shape the raw materials of our inner world into meaningful expressions of our deepest truths. This archetype calls us to embrace the creative impulse within, to explore the richness of our imagination, and to give voice to the unspoken dimensions of our experience. In the creative process, we encounter the dance of opposites, the interplay between chaos and order that mirrors the dynamics of the unconscious. Creativity requires us to enter into the fertile chaos of the psyche, to surrender to the flow of inspiration, and to trust in the unfolding of the creative process. It is through this surrender that we discover new insights and perspectives, new ways of seeing and being that enrich our understanding of ourselves and the world. The act of creation is, therefore, an act of integration, a weaving together of the disparate elements of our psyche into a harmonious whole. It is a dialogue between the conscious and unconscious, a conversation that takes place through symbols, images, and narratives that emerge from the depths of our being. Through this dialogue, we gain access to the wisdom of the unconscious, uncovering the hidden meanings and insights that lie beneath the surface of our awareness. As we engage with the creative process, we are invited to explore the archetype of the alchemist, a symbol of transformation and transmutation. The alchemist represents the capacity to transform the base materials of our psyche into the gold of higher consciousness, to transmute the leaden weight of our fears and limitations into the radiant light of understanding and insight. This archetype calls us to embrace the alchemical process of personal transformation, to engage in the ongoing work of self-discovery and growth. In the alchemical journey, we encounter the stages of dissolution and coagulation, symbolic processes that mirror the dynamics of psychological transformation. Dissolution involves the breaking down of old structures and patterns, the release of outdated beliefs and perceptions that no longer serve our growth. Coagulation, on the other hand, involves the integration of new insights and understandings, the creation of new patterns and structures that support our emerging self. The creative process, therefore, becomes a crucible for transformation, a space in which we can explore the depths of our being and bring forth new expressions of our potential. It invites us to engage with the archetypal energies that reside within us, to explore the rich tapestry of our inner world, and to give voice to the stories that long to be told. As we navigate the complexities of creativity and transformation, we are reminded of the importance of play, the spontaneous and joyful exploration of possibilities that is essential to the creative process. Play invites us to approach life with a sense of wonder and curiosity, to explore the boundaries of our imagination, and to embrace the unknown with open hearts and minds. It is through play that we discover new ways of seeing and being, new pathways to integration and wholeness. In closing, let us celebrate the transformative power of creativity, the capacity to engage with the depths of the psyche and to bring forth new expressions of our potential. May we continue to embrace the creative process as a pathway to silence and integration, trusting in the wisdom of the unconscious to guide us towards greater understanding and fulfillment. Thank you for joining me on this exploration. And may the silence you find be a source of profound peace and joy, a testament to the resilience and beauty of the human spirit. As we journey further into the recesses of the psyche, let us consider the integral role of relationships in our quest for integration and the silence that follows. Relationships, in the Jungian context, are not merely external interactions, but profound opportunities for inner growth and transformation. They act as mirrors, reflecting back to us the unacknowledged parts of ourselves, challenging us to confront the shadows we project onto others. At the heart of our relational experiences lies the dynamic interplay of projection and reflection. Projection occurs when we unconsciously attribute our own feelings, own desire, or fears onto others, seeing in them what we fail to recognize within ourselves. This psychological mechanism can obscure the true nature of our relationships, leading to misunderstandings and conflicts. Yet, it is through the recognition and withdrawal of these projections that we gain insight into our inner world, facilitating the process of integration. Consider the archetype of the lover, which embodies the deep longing for connection and union that resides within each of us. This archetype reflects the innate desire to transcend the boundaries of the self, to merge with another in a profound and transformative way. The lover invites us to engage with the full spectrum of our emotions, to explore the depths of our capacity for intimacy and vulnerability. In our relationships, we are called to engage with the anima and animus, the contrasexual archetypes that serve as bridges between the conscious and unconscious. These figures often manifest in our romantic partnerships, challenging us to confront the projections we place upon our partners and to recognize the deeper truths they reveal about ourselves. Through this engagement, we are invited to integrate the masculine and feminine energies within us, fostering a sense of balance and wholeness. The process of integration within relationships is further illuminated by the concept of the sacred marriage, or hieros gamos, a symbolic union of opposites that reflects the ultimate goal of individuation. This union is not merely a literal marriage, but a metaphorical joining of the conscious and unconscious, the integration of the shadow and the self. It represents the harmonious balance of dualities, the synthesis of complementary forces that leads to a greater sense of unity and coherence as we navigate the complexities of relationships. We are often confronted with the archetype of the wounded healer, a figure that embodies the paradoxical relationship between suffering and healing. This archetype reminds us that our most profound wounds often hold the key to our deepest healing, that it is through the acknowledgement and integration of our pain that we find the capacity to heal ourselves and others. The wounded healer invites us to approach our relationships with empathy and compassion, to recognize the shared humanity that connects us all. It calls us to embrace the imperfections and vulnerabilities of ourselves and others, to cultivate a sense of acceptance and understanding that transcends judgment and fear. Through this embrace, we create a space for healing and transformation, both within ourselves and within our relationships. As we continue to explore the depths of the psyche, let us also consider the role of community and collective experience in the process of individuation. The archetype of the tribe or community reflects the innate human need for connection and belonging, the desire to be part of something larger than ourselves. It is through our engagement with the collective that we find the strength and support to navigate the challenges of the individuation journey. In community, we are invited to share our stories and insights, to learn from the experiences of others, and to contribute our unique gifts to the greater whole. This engagement fosters a sense of interconnectedness, a recognition that our individual journey is but a reflection of the larger human story. It is through this shared experience that we find the courage to embrace our individuality and to contribute to the collective evolution of consciousness. In closing, let us reflect on the transformative power of relationships and community in our journey towards integration and silence. May we continue to embrace the opportunities for growth and healing that our relationships offer, trusting in the wisdom of the unconscious to guide us towards greater understanding and fulfillment. Thank you for joining me on this exploration, and may the silence you find be a source of profound peace and joy, a testament to the resilience and beauty of the human spirit.